confused, I was lost, and I really had no one to guide me. So that's why I'm helping you guys. My college was known for failing people on purpose. It was hell. Just to be careful with people in your ear, people who are talking in your ear, what you watch, even here on YouTube. What's up, friends? Welcome back to KimmyDTV, a place where nurses and aspiring nurses come to achieve academic, career, and life success. In this video, we're going to be going over my LPN to RN journey. So if you would like to know more about my LPN to RN schooling, just basically the whole process of me getting my RN, stay tuned. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this video with your friends and family so that they can be educated on how to get their RN as an LPN, okay? So hey guys, hey, first I want to preface this video by saying I was an LPN for 7 years prior. I went to RN school from April of 2019 and I graduated in November of 2020, took my boards at the end of November and passed in November of 2020. Woo woo, thank God. So yeah, this is my journey. This is my untraditional path to becoming an RN. And the reason why I said untraditional is because I didn't always know I wanted to become an RN. I didn't even always know I wanted to become a nurse. So if you guys are looking for a poster child for, like, you know, the perfect, you know, nurse, and someone who always knew that they wanted to be a nurse and they're just this perfect nurse, you know, I'm not. I'm just a girl here on YouTube that is here showing and sharing my journey and my story, and to help others so that they don't have to go through certain stuff that I went through, so that you guys can bypass certain loopholes that I had to go through, okay? So this is very untraditional, so that's just a warning, okay? And also I want to put a disclaimer by saying, you know, I never claim to be this perfect person who just like, okay, I want to do step A, step B, step C, step D. There are some people in life who, you know, once they graduate high school or when they're little, like, they automatically know what they want to do. Well, my story is really different, so here it is, okay? And also, guys, I'm gonna be talking about the different classes I took. I have a playlist here on my channel called RN School, and I have RN vlogs, so you guys can check those out. I did a separate video and broke down each subject as I went through them. I broke down how to get an AM micro, AMP, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4 nursing. So I won't be going into specific detail. If you want to see details of my RN school journey, just check out this playlist. This is just going to be an overall look. Okay, know that I will not be giving the name of my school just for privacy reasons, so please refrain from asking, okay? And by the way, the school is in New York and you have to live in New York City to go to that school anyway. I applied for my RN school that when I graduated with in April of 2018, actually, because I always was thinking about going back to school for my RN as an LPN. But get this, guys, but those guys who are new, I know there's so much new people on my channel, but I did once upon a time pursue acting, okay? So yes, okay, I always wanted to be an actress. I always wanted to be in the performing arts, singer, actor, dancer, what have you. And I did a little bit of that in New York City, but we're not going to go into that. But I did do a little bit of acting. So when I graduated from high school, I went straight into an acting college. And I feel like the reason why I went into an acting college, and it was a very expensive one, it was in New York City. It was the New York Conservatory for Dramatic Arts. And to be honest with you, looking back, it was one of the best experiences in my life, okay? In my acting college, we did classes like Suzuki, voice and speech, dance, intro to film history. We did Meisner technique. We did scene study. We did a lot of stuff, and I really enjoyed it. And I could honestly say, like, that was one of the best years of my life, because I was just with it. Like, you know, I had my group of friends, and I was, every single day I woke up and went to school and went to do something that I loved, and I was rehearsing and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I do have the acting bug. Even still this day, I still really do love acting. Now the field is kind of different, but I really did love acting, and so I went to school to be an actor. And this college was extremely expensive, but it didn't have any regular prereqs that your general college would have, like English 1, English 2, history. It didn't have that, and I chose that on purpose because honestly, and I give that advice to anybody who is in high school who's watching me. Don't just quickly choose a school because you feel pressured. Honestly, I did feel pressure, okay, because I come from a background, okay, I have Haitian parents, and I come from a background where like there's like, especially if you're first generation American, like there's always so much pressure for you to succeed, and sometimes someone's definition of success can be different from yours, especially if there's a generational gap, and you know, now technology is booming, everything like that. So you know, of course, going to college was kind of like not an option, and if you didn't go to college that year, it just seemed like, you know, you're a loser or you don't know what you're doing or blah blah blah. So I feel like, looking back, I just chose it just to choose it. So I do regret it for financial reason, because I did take out loans to go to that school. So yeah, so I went to a community college, to that college straight out of high school, so I didn't really have any college credits that can transfer. So I applied for my RN program, like I said, in the spring of 2018, and then that summer and then I took the acuplacer exam. I have vlogs on this on my channel if you look way back. I took the acuplacer exam, and the only step left was to, I think, take the ATIT's exam or something. I don't remember, but I already applied for it. I sent in my picture, I sent in my application, I sent in my transcripts from high school, like I sent in everything. I was so ready to go to this school, but unfortunately, I don't know, I'm not gonna say unfortunately, I was going through a lot at the time, and I was like, you know what, I just want a new scenery. And I knew I wanted to be in Texas. So I had done a lot of research about Texas before. I wasn't feeling New York. I went to Texas a few times. I went to the DFW area for like a business conference. I went to Houston before. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a travel nursing assignment to help fund my travels to live in Texas, maybe. But I wasn't 100% sure. So I decided to take a travel nursing assignment in El Paso, Texas. Like I said, those guys who have been my channel for a while, you guys will know. So I did that, and then the spare of the moment, around like, I feel like October 2018, because my travel assignment was from August 2018 to October 2018 as an LPN, as a licensed practical nurse. I said, you know what, I'm gonna move to Houston, and it was just like in the spur of the moment, okay? Decisions. I was very young, and you know what, guys, I'm gonna give you guys a sneak peek to those guys who are watching this much into the video. I am going to be coming out with a podcast soon, so stay tuned for that, and I will dive deeper into like basically my mindset at the time, you know, some of the stuff that I was going through that kind of influenced me in making those decisions, okay? Because, you know, I make these videos to help you guys, but you know, there's also life after the video stops, you know, and you know, as a human, I go through things, I see things, and I'm just learning on this journey. So from my travel LPN journey at that time, like just moving to Houston, I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of issues trying to find work in Houston as an LPN, and I thought that it would be easy to find work as an LPN in Houston. Right now, it's completely different. Right now, I feel like it's super duper easy to find work as an LPN. There's the CARE app. In my head, when I came here in January of 2021. When I came here for the second time, I was like, oh my God, look at this CARE app. And it was mostly for LPNs. And I just kept saying LPN, LPN job, LPN everywhere. I'm like, wow, this was there back then in 2018, 2019. I probably would have still been in RN school or something. I would have probably taken my time more to get my RN. But you know, God knows what God is doing, because like in New York, it's quite easy to find job as an LPN, as far as I know, because that's where I'm from. You know, you just call up an agency. You could literally Google nursing agency, you call up an agency, and they're ready to staff you, okay? I even posted some of the jobs on my community tab, so make sure you're keeping an eye on my community tab. They are always ready to staff LPNs in New York. There is a big need. There are many people who are opening nursing homes as businesses, so they got to staff those places, clinics, all kinds of stuff. But in Houston it was a little bit different. I feel like it was like a little bit more like you had to jump through more hoops, you know. So like I said, I'll be diving deeper into this in my podcast of like why I felt like, you know, there's more positions in LPN as in New York versus Houston, and have you guys had your input in the podcast. We'll dive deep in the podcast, okay? So that's that. I was going through a lot, and then in the jail, I love the jail, but there was this one nurse, and I was very young at the time, and I didn't really know how to like kind of stand up for myself and be assertive. And there was this one nurse who was really bothering me, and I remember she was in her BSN program. I think she had 2 kids, and she was just really rude towards me, like extremely rude and very mean, very nasty. And I was just afraid to kind of speak up, to be honest with you, because I felt like, oh my god, like I'm here, I'm out on my own, and I can't lose this job. I don't want to have an argument and then for them to like not call me back, because I really love this jail job. It was 10 times easier than a nursing home job and stuff like that. And I was just really afraid, you know. And sometimes when you're desperate for something and you really want something, that could be a negative sometimes, because then that means you may accept everything and anything in life. And that goes for any area in life. Like never ever be desperate for something, because it's like you may accept less than you deserve and you may not stand up for yourself. So I was just convinced throughout all my nursing home job experiences and stuff like that, like people being nasty towards me and stuff like that, I was just convinced it was because I was an LPN. And now I know better, that it's not because I was an LPN, it's because I didn't know how to properly assert myself. I didn't know how to stand up for myself the right way, not tear up, you know, ish, but like stand up. I didn't know how to do that. So that was like a personal life lesson. But I was just feeling so frustrated, honestly. I was like, oh my god, like I'm out here on my own. Oh my god, adulting is hard, real life is hard, and I was just like really overwhelmed. I felt very overwhelmed. Then I was going through certain stuff with my health at that, and then it was just a lot, guys. It was just a lot. So I said, you know, I want to go to RN school, and I want to do that. Now I was really serious. I was like, okay, I have to go back to RN school, because it seems like everywhere I go I keep seeing a sign like RN school, RN school, RN school. So I went through several open houses. I went to the open house in Lone Star. I went to the open house in Gillane College of Nursing, I think, when I was doing the travel nursing assignment, I think. Yeah, I asked for a brochure. So I went through several open houses. I remember I went to one student advisor, and she told me, hey, you should do your BSN, because my daughter, she's doing her BSN, and most hospitals are needing a BSN and this and that, and you know, you need a BSN to work. You might as well bypass the ADN, and you better get your BSN and stuff like that. And then when I was working in the jail, that nurse who I had an issue with, I know she was going for her BSN. So in my head I was like, if I have and people have told me that too, if I had the highest amount of education, like no one is gonna mess with me, okay? So this is not just something I just came on the top of my head. This is things that people have told me, like people in your ear. So guys, be careful with people in your ear, people who are talking in your ear, what you watch, even here on YouTube. Be careful what you watch, what you listen to, even music, because like everything influences you. Everything, your friends, what you watch, what you listen to, like everything influences you, guys. So be careful. Guys, I'm running out of breath. So I said, you know what, this advisor, okay, this school advisor telling me to go for my BSN, all these people going for my, girl, I'm gonna go for my BSN so I could wave it in front of her face, in front of that nurse's face, and say, hey, you can't disrespect me anymore because I'm a RN BSN, right? So I decided to start going to community college, and you guys can see that video. I'll leave it down in the description below. It says my courses that I'm taking. So you know, I had to start from zero. I had to start from scratch, okay? I only had like one sociology credit, by the way, because I took that one credit in Kingsborough Community College in Brooklyn one semester when I was trying to finish, but I dropped my other classes. Oh, I forgot to tell you that. So before I even moved to Texas, I did take 1 semester of nursing prerequisites. I took a lot, but then I dropped all of them. I just kept sociology and I just kept going there. So, and I got that sociology credit, but the rest I dropped. So like I said, when I tell you I was confused, I was lost, and I really had no one to guide me. So that's why I'm helping you guys, okay? It's not just about nursing, it's about getting your mindset right. Sorry guys, I got a little interrupted. So yeah, anyway, so yeah, I was going through a lot and people were talking in my ear and saying this, saying that I should go for a BSN. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna take the BSN classes. So I started taking the BSN classes, but then another nurse in my jail job said, no, don't take the BSN prerequisites. And I said, why? I need US history. She said she did the same thing, and basically it's a mistake. She said because when you're in nursing school, you want to work as least amount of hours as possible because it's so time consuming, you know. It's a lot of studying, it's a lot of material, and it's clinicals and all that jazz. And I was like, oh shoot. And she was like, she basically ran out of her financial aid, because financial aid gives you a certain amount of free money, like, you know, of grants and stuff like that. She's like, she ran out of it because she spent all of it trying to get her prereqs for a BSN. So when it came time for her nursing, she had to pay straight out of pocket, and she's trying to balance nursing school and real life jobs and stuff like that. She's trying to balance it out, you know. And she said it was really hard for her, so she gave me the advice not to do that. So at that moment, like I said, by that moment, I think that's when my health was starting to act up, and I was just going through a lot in my life. So I was like, you know what, this is really hard. Adulting is really hard. I really need to get my RN. So I decided to call up the nursing school in New York that I applied to back in 2018. I was like, hey guys, and this was in 2019. This was April 2019. I called. I said, hey guys, do you remember me? And I never forgot. The girl on the phone was like, yeah, I remember you. I'm still waiting on your I forgot what she said. She's like, yeah, you could still come in. Just come in and take the ATI test. We're waiting on you, okay? And I felt like that was like a sign. There were several things that helped me feel like that was a sign. So then I moved back to New York from Texas, and this wasn't easy at all, okay guys. I had to return my car. My car was a lease. I went over the mileage and I had a little issue with the engine because I drove over something. I was driving at night, and I didn't realize like Texas could be pitch black at night when you're driving. It's not like New York. New York is more lit up. And basically I drove over something and the engine of the car got mixed up, so I had to get that fixed. So best believe that company that leased me that car charged me for it, okay? And because I went over the mileage, and they charged me for returning it, and it took months just to return this car. Even when I went back to New York, it took months to get all the paperwork done, all the notary done. Like, it was hell just to return this car. And then also I had to sublet my apartment, and I had to find someone to sublet my apartment because my lease wasn't up. I still had 7 more months left of the lease. And guys, that was such a heartache. And then finally, I remember the day I was trying to move, I tried to put like notes all over the apartment complex, like, hey, have this apartment, like, I get free Wi-Fi, because it was near the leasing office, so I got free Wi-Fi. I was like, you could get this apartment, you know, this and that, because I feel like the leasing office really wasn't trying to help me get my apartment out, even though I explained the situation. And then long story short, my neighbor who was in the apartment door next to me, she was actually from New York too, and she was moving there too, and I never met her. And then it's like the day like I was ready to move, she was there, and I met her, and she gave me this website, and she was like, yeah, go on this website and you could put your apartment on for lease and this and that. So I found a girl, and it wasn't like that, because the girl, she didn't speak too good of English. She didn't speak good English, and then I had to go back and forth with the leasing office while I was in New York. I had to get papers notarized. They had to check her credit, and she ended up having to have a co-signer. When I tell you a mess, guys, a mess. It was such a big mess. It was such a stressful time in my life, and all that And during that time I was taking, I think, chemistry, and I was taking chemistry and nursing, I think 221, which is like the nursing college prereqs. Okay, so go back to the nursing school. So when I went back to New York in April 2019, I had to take the ATIT's exam, passed that, thank God. Then I had to take my nursing school's prereqs, which was chemistry and math, along with nursing 221. And nursing 221 is just, it was like very, very easy. It was just like little basic nursing classes, and even though it was 7 years ago since I did the LPN, it was that basic. It was easy. It was like how to make a bed and like different stuff about IVs, but it was very, very simple, you know. So I completed those classes with an A, okay, even with all my thing, like. But guys, when I moved Texas back to New York, I felt very low. I felt like a dog returning with its tail between its legs. I felt like a failure. I felt like, damn, like I'm back here, and like I was extremely sad about that. But we will get more into that in the podcast. But I took those 2 prerequisite courses, right? So after I took those prerequisite courses, I was like, oh, okay. And I remember I met this one girl. She was in her her first quarter of the nursing program, and I was getting advice. You know me, I'm always asking people for advice. Like, oh, you have any advice from med-surg? And she was like, yeah. Did you finish your prereqs? I was like, no, I'm gonna take, so my school allows you to take your prereqs and nursing classes at the same time, and they don't recommend it, but they do allow it. And they say, you know, you can't work while you're in nursing school. You always hear that, but I of course had to work because I had like legal fees to pay for the sublet apartment, I had to pay off my car that I leased. At this point, I don't even own that car I leased, but I had to still pay that. I still had to pay a lot of stuff, and I had to pay my tuition and stuff like that. So I was like, oh no. And then basically she was like, yeah, if I were you, I would get all my prereqs out the way. So I was like, oh man, oh crap. So I was like, okay, boom. I was like, okay, so boom, let me get my major sciences out the way at least. Okay, so I knew they were giving a micro class that August, but in order to take that micro class, you have to finish AMP 1 and AMP 2. Before I even started, I just started fixing in my brain, like, how am I gonna do it? So I know there was a community college by my house, not too far from my house. It's called City Tech. For those guys who are in Brooklyn, City Tech. So they allowed 4-week classes, but these classes were super duper expensive. I think they were about $2,000 a class. But at that point, I was like, I don't care. I'm this far by now. I don't want to be struggling through my nursing classes. You know, it's been 7 years since I've even stepped foot in a traditional school, let alone a nursing school. And I'm about to take this. So I went into community college and I took AMP 1, got an A on that. Then right after, I took AMP 2, got another A on that. And I'll leave these links down below if you want to know how I got AMP A and AMP 1 and AMP 2. Then I gave the transcript. I said, okay, bam. I gave my nursing school transcript. I said, now when can I sign up for micro? Okay, because, and so right now, this is the summer, so I basically had no summer. So I decided to take micro in my school, and micro in my nursing school was about, I think, like 6 weeks or something like that. It was short too, maybe 5 weeks. And then right after micro, I got an A in that too. A, thank God. Right after micro, it was boom, the nursing program was to start. So that's why I did it like that. That's why I did the class back to back to back to back, because I was like, I do not want to take any major sciences with my nursing courses because it is crazy. And I'm so happy I did, because you need a great understanding of anatomy and physiology in order to be successful in nursing school, I believe. You don't have to be a super pro, like get an A. You know, that was overkill on my part, to be honest with you. But I'm just saying, you have to have a good grasp, because med-surg is all about the pathophysiology, and it's 10 times easier to understand why somebody has, for example, diabetes type 1. You know that the pancreas doesn't produce the islets of Langerhans cells, doesn't produce insulin. You know, well, okay, the pancreas is supposed to produce it, you know what I mean? So it all connects together, is what I'm saying. So that's why having a good grasp of anatomy and physiology, you don't have to know every little single thing, but having a good grasp is so important. So after that, I took quarter one of nursing, and then boom, the pandemic happened. Okay, oh yeah, before I took quarter one nursing, I did take a trip to Paris. I do have family down there. So I did take a trip to Paris. I know y'all thinking like, what? But guys, I was so stressed out. I needed a break. I went through so much emotion, and I'm so happy I went to Paris, and I did vlog it. So if you guys want to see it, I'll leave it down below as well. So I went to Paris with my sister. We had a great time. I learned so much about my sister. She learned so much about me. We fought, we laughed, we drank, we married. So we were married, so it was fun. So then after that, I went back. I went to quarter one. I went in, and it was like, at that time I was, you know, I was so frustrated. I was so like stressed out. I didn't know how to study, and I eventually asked around, guys. Some people were willing to help me, some people weren't, and I didn't understand that because like we already graduated. But I found people to help me. I found a group of friends to help me, and we all did a group chat, and I was always just willing to like partake in like sharing information. I'm sorry guys if this video got dimmer. These lights are so hot. So then the pandemic hit. Oh my god. So the pandemic hit in the middle of quarter two. Okay, so there's 4 quarters, and that was psych. And oh my god, I must say that my college really handled the pandemic very well. My president said that, okay, we are going straight into online. Oh, and I forgot, this video is all over the place, but before I even went to my college was known for failing people on purpose.